guys, Junior here, and today we are back on iRacing with, as you can see, the Cup Miatas, or Spec Miatas, or whatever you want to call them, back at the Charlotte Roval. Sorry about the lag at the start here. My computer's been doing it again. It hasn't done it for a while, but as you can see, it's doing it again. Right off the line there, you can see a whole bunch of chaos. You can see the one flying over the curb. The 5 absolutely dies, just sends it into the wall and ends up wrecking a few guys. You can see I'm able to get past the 1 and that other white and blue car behind him. Or I guess it's black, white, red. And now I am in 3rd and hunting down the leaders. In fact, make it 2nd because the 6 car ended up spinning out. For this 6, you can see I jumped the curb a bit more than I wanted to. Then on the brakes, I take, I think I was a little bit wider than I wanted to be. But here I am chasing after the 3, you can see the 1 right behind me, and then the 3 absolutely just biffs it into the wall, giving the lead to me as we head through 1 and 2 of the oval. Turns 1 and 2 of the oval, that is. Now, down the backstretch, heading into the chicane, you can see we're entering on the backstretch here. You hear me shift into 4th. The 1 car, looped in the wall, don't know why. Hard on the brakes for both of us. Through the chicane, you can see that I'm just going to absolutely lose it. Just make a massive mistake of just spinning out. And if you guys are wondering how the spin out happened, I will give you guys a bit of a reason why. So here we are with the gyro cam in the cockpit. I will walk you guys through it as it happens. You can hear I'm on the brakes, a little bit of sideways there, that's not why. I jumped this curb, you can hear I'm on the throttle as I do, you can see me reversing the wheel, but it's not enough, I just absolutely spin out. And then by goes that black, red, and white car. Yeah, if I had not jumped that curb like that, I think I would have had the lead of the race. Coming out of lap 1. I think I definitely would have. I also turned in extremely late on that first curb. And if I'm being entirely honest, I don't really know what happened. You can see I didn't even get that high on the curb. And yet it happened. But yeah, so with that we are going to skip forward a couple laps. Where is that? Got it ahead of me. There it is. The number 9. There you can see the 1, and there's the 9. Oh, so what happened with the 9? Alright, so it would be lap 2 here when something happened with the 9. Oh, I do remember what happened. So as you can see, if we go on board with the 9 here, you can hear him lift a little bit there. You can see how badly that affects his speed. He's going to completely miss the apex there. Go nice and wide, not even go wide enough to get a good entry into that corner. And you can see he goes not near wide enough that time. And you can see the effect that's having on him down this short straight here. Heading into this corner, you can see I am full throttle even though he braked, then I'm on my brakes. And look at this, he just goes out into the grass and pulls a big brain play. That's all I really can say. I mean, this man must have been thinking 3 moves ahead. Really just nothing like a character like this. But yeah, so as you can see, here is the 1 far in the distance going through the chicane. You can see the lead he's got over me as I'm now entering the chicane as he's accelerating out of it. It's really a case of whether or not I can catch this guy. You can see, I will show you guys through the oval section here as I'm starting to close up on him. I'll show you guys what he does through the oval section that shows just how bad he is at racing. This right here, this maneuver. Now you might be thinking, oh, what do you mean shows how bad a racer he is? He's cutting the track. He's making up as much time as possible. Look at the 2 on his outside, okay? He nearly cleared the 2, but now the 2 has re-overtaken him on the outside. Now here's the 1 and the 2 on brakes. You can see me coming flying in on mine. But I lose a lot of time on the exit here because of the line I took. So I'm sure you guys are asking, what is he doing that makes him not near as good as other people on the track. You know, I mean, he's leading the race. He must know what he's doing. Let me tell you guys. So the reason this 2 car passed him on the outside through what's essentially a straightaway with a bit of a curve, you can see the 2 absolutely biffs it there. That's why he's a lap car. But what he did that why him doing that is so inefficient and just bad for his lap times is because just because he's cutting a course doesn't mean he's gaining time. You know, he might be gaining time in the corners, but down the straightaway, he loses so much. You can see the 2 still dying in the background. The amount of time he's gaining is worse than the amount of time he's gaining is not worth it for the amount of speed he's losing. As you can see now, I'm closing up on him through these couple of corners, and now through this section. And something about the way he was driving was very erratic, inconsistent, didn't really know what he was doing, I felt like. Like through this section, look at how brilliant of an exit that is. And look what he does here. Stays on the banking, because he's doing what I'm doing. I'm catching him, so he's trying to do what he can to not let me pass him. I'm going to jump to his inside, and I know that kind of sounds like I'm contradicting what I just said, but I didn't go all the way to the grass like he did. You can see we're both on the brakes. He brakes way earlier than I do through the chicane, all 4 wheels off the ground, just going flying. Then I nearly just absolutely die right there. So he's going to get a much better exit out of the chicane. I nearly had a nice, brilliant, clean little pass right there. But you know what? We're just going to have to settle for the next opportunity of overtaking. I was thinking that this front stretch chicane here, but he ended up braking long before I expected he would. You can see my my response to that in the little shake and jerk I did, and you can see the amount of time that lost me because I was just not ready for him to brake when he did. So going through turn 1 here, I'm just trying to catch him now. You know, just trying to gain all the time I just lost because of that. You know, had I known when he was going to brake, what his braking point would be, I would not have reacted the way I did. And now down this short straight, you can see how bad of an exit he got. I'm going to shoot to his inside, just kind of jump there. Full throttle through this section, then I'm on the brakes. He bumps me in the rear. The game gives me 4x's of car contact. Couldn't really tell you why, but you can see the nose damage he has now and how much that's going to affect his engine power. You can see already I'm pulling away. And now through this section, you can really just see how I'm going to just fly away from him. Look at how slow he's going. So, you know, as much as I hate to have done that damage to him, you know, it is what it is. I mean, the man probably would have been going as fast as I was if I had engine damage without the damage. So, you know, if you ask me, it's just a handicap that he deserves. But we end up taking the lead with 5 to go, as you can see here. Quite the race. And while all this was happening, we were racing for the lead. However, I believe just a lap before, or maybe it was a couple laps before, I was actually racing for 3rd. Oh no, never mind. But just a couple laps prior to that, we had been racing for 3rd. So we weren't even racing for the win, or for the lead rather, not the win quite yet. We weren't even racing for the lead like I necessarily thought we had been. But you know, my spotter was confusing me, saying the previous leader had been pitting, and then he was, and then he wasn't, and all kinds of crap. And I thought this one, I mean, all I knew is that this one was someone I was racing for position. That's all I knew. So we're going to go ahead and go on board with the 1 here, and we're going to see what this moves look like from his perspective. Yeah, it wasn't exactly the cleanest of passes. I would love to watch it from his visor cam, because I don't really feel like that does this maneuver justice. However, I would like to watch it from this TV static cam. Here we go, half speed. I do want to see my full throttle send through this corner here. Oh my gosh, look at how close I get to the nose of his car. Like, it's almost, and then I'm on the brakes. But you can see, actually, I braked a lot earlier than I normally do, and I knew I had to, just because of the nature of how this corner was going to go. Here we go, we're watching from the right front suspension here. so let's go to the cockpit cam. There it is. I am curious to see what this maneuver looked like. If it looked like I want to know if he saw it as like a brake check or something. Okay, so I've always been the type of guy to say I don't know why people don't shift down to gear 1, but in that scenario, I feel like he shifted down far too early. Okay, yeah. So now this is going to be very biased, but me knowing what my intentions were when I made that maneuver, I don't see, you know, a brake check type maneuver. But he very well could. You could see he's on the brakes through that corner. That's really just a lift off, and it's in some cases a full throttle corner. So, yeah, and the speedometer, the miles per hour is not at all accurate with what the RPM and what the car is actually doing. Because that's my car. You can see, yeah, he's not even braking. But the gear and the RPM is accurate. Oh my gosh, he went all 4 wheels over the curb that time. But yeah, so I think I could have very well have beat this guy without having done the damage to him. I mean, you can see how quickly I caught him. I mean, even just in turn 1 here, look at the difference in braking points. He brakes so much earlier than I do. Even here, I'm on the throttle long before he is. Look at the amount of time I'm gaining. Look at all this time I'm gaining. You know, you see how much I gained through that corner? Now through these corners, he's braking. I'm not. That means I'm gaining time. Through this corner, he brakes more. I'm only off the throttle. I'm on the throttle probably before he is. If not, I have higher speed than he does when I'm on the throttle. Now through this corner. Yeah, if I had known I was going to brake into him, I would not have braked. I would have just lifted and then braked a lot later. So here's what I thought had happened, though, when I had that maneuver happen. Real quick, let's take a peek at the tires, because I felt like the tires were really going off at the end. Look at this left front. Look at this left front. And I felt like this was the case through 85% on the left front. I felt like through these corners, towards the end of the race, through these corners right here, I felt like the car was very, very, very tight. And I just, you know, the only thing I kept thinking, you could see I'm just barely dipping my wheels on the grass that time. But the only thing I could think in my head was, man, it's got to be the tires, it's got to be the tires, it's got to be the tires. You can see I am just working every last fiber of rubber out of these tires, getting everything I can out of them. Yeah, when I was catching this one, I was really sending it. And then this move right here, this really did not help the tires because of the way I was braking. It really hurt that left front. But yeah, then he hit me. So let me tell you guys what I thought happened when I was braking for this corner and when I made contact with him. So obviously, you know what happened. He ended up hitting the rear of me. Here's what I thought happened when I was going into this corner, okay? I thought right about here, I thought he was starting to overtake me on the outside, just a little bit. I thought he was starting to overtake me just a little bit. So then I hit the brakes because I thought, I thought I was gonna go flying into him because I thought he was gonna be over here. So I thought I was gonna go flying into him. So I hit the brakes. Okay, I'm hard on the brakes, as we know, all the way on the brakes, shifting down just a little bit, and then right here, okay, right here, as we know, he's about to hit me. What was it? What would it be? Right rear? Yeah. No, left rear. My bad. As we know, he is. There he goes. He hits me right there. When we make contact, there it is. When we make contact right there, I goofed. So I thought he was gonna be. I thought he was on my outside. Okay, so I brake so I don't hit him. When we made contact right here, I thought he was over here. I thought I hit him. You know, and the way that my car reacted, I thought he'd hit my quarter panel, and I thought he was more over here than, you know, more directly behind me like he was. So I thought he was more over here. So we end up hitting, and he. I mean, obviously, as we know, I just kind of brake checked him, but, you know, not really. And then, you know, like I said, I do damage to him. You can see I hit the brakes again. Nice little counter steer drift to save the car. One last look at the tires here. If you guys want, you can pause the video, take a peek at the tires, and see what it was. I did have some slight damage at the end, but I figured I shouldn't pit. So yeah, but here's all the tires before the channel closes, and I can't look at the setup or anything anymore. Yep, there it goes, right there, just like that. Because the channel is now closed. So yeah, that's how that went. proceeding on towards the end of the race, and more of what I was talking about with the tires going off. Here's more of what I was saying. So you can see through turn 1, flawless as always. You can hear me lift off just a tiny bit there, and then look through these corners. I turned at the same point I always do, but I went a little wide. Then I stepped on the gas a little bit, and then look at this. All 4 tires on the grass. All 4. Look at this. I don't know what had happened. I came out of this corner here, and I thought, oh, with the trajectory of the car, I'll show you guys what I was seeing from the cockpit here. With the trajectory of the car, I saw it going, more in the direction it normally does. So I was kind of thinking like, we should probably just do the cockpit view. I saw the trajectory of the car going around. I mean, you can see just by the way it's going, I saw it going around and around. And I thought it was going to go too tight and hit the curb. So you can see right about here, I realized, and there you can see I step on the gas just for a second, give myself a little bump of speed. So instead of going down, I end up maintaining it around 71. I go up to 72 just for a second, and then I lift off again. Okay, then you can see the RPMs go back down. By me doing this, it gave me a little more turn, which I didn't realize until I lifted off, and I was like, oh, it just gave me more turn, and I ended up hitting the curb. So I hit the throttle here because I think, oh, I'm going to go over the curb, I'm going to get right up on the grass like I have every other lap, right next to it, not onto it, like I've been doing, right? So I'm on the throttle, and I didn't realize that the car gave me more turn after I did the little throttle blip, until after I was on the throttle. And I was like, why did the car need more turn in? And it was right about here that I was like, car's not turning. Yeah, you can see I lift off right there. I'm like, give me some more turn, get off of that. So I give it another little blip to see if that'll help. It really didn't, especially because I had 2 wheels in the air right here. And then we hit the ground, and then tires go in the grass, and, well, that's how it goes down from there. But it's a nice little save from me. I actually want to go back to lap 6 here, to when I hit this guy. I don't know why I can never find it. So here's the maneuver to the inside. I actually didn't look at him. I never looked at him, so I didn't know that happened. But look at this brilliant countersteer, that little drift. Just absolutely flawless. Perfect. You can hear me shift up a little bit, just to give me a little more power around that bend. And then you can see, look at how much time he loses coming out of that corner. Not because of the acceleration and the fact that he had engine damage. That was obviously part of it, as well as the fact that he had aerodynamic damage. But the fact that he didn't, because of that, the way he exited that corner, the fact that he braked, he just had no speed for the straightaway. And I will always count those banked corners as straightaways, especially in the Miatas. In the Cup cars, it's a little different. I mean, for the most part, they're still straightaways because the cars are still accelerating, so they don't really get up to speed as to where they have to lift. Any at all? Any at all, yes. So that's how it goes for them. But yeah, so that's, there you can see me. So that's how that goes from there. However, so yeah, I showed you guys lap 8, what happened there. But real quick, just before I let you guys go, let's analyze the last 2 laps of these races. You can see through turn 1, a little high on the curb there, but for the most part we're okay. You can see full throttle through there, doing nice and well. Through this corner, off the throttle, go nice and wide so you can see I tap the brakes. So yeah, this is where I really thought the tire was kicking in. And like I said, that left front, 85%, yeah, I was really feeling it. Down the short straight, into this full throttle corner, and then on the brakes for the next. I do like the iRacing models in the rubbering in of the track, not just visually, but also physically, and how the physics work. So, it does make the end of the race very pleasurable because, there I hit the wall, we're not going to talk about that. But it makes it very pleasurable because as you go on, and as the tires start to wear out, you can kind of feel the rubber keeping the car on the track, and you really feel the limits of the car come to you. Right off the line, you have cold tires, cold brakes, a green track for the most part anyway. A green track, and you don't have any real basis to go off of, because even in the practice sessions, there's rubber on the track because it models in the rubbering in always during qualifying, during practice. So your second lap, the exact line you take, if you took the exact line again, you'd have a slight more amount of grip. Slightly more in the way of grip, because of the fact that the track rubbers in just a little bit. And it models every individual line that people take. So if somehow people all avoided one strip of road and your tires went over that strip, your tires would just completely lose grip. But yeah, so as the tires wear and you start to find the limits of your car, the rubber also helps kind of cancel that out. Same with you losing fuel. So in the way of racing, especially on super hard compounds, like the case of these spec Miatas, or Cup Miatas, or whatever you want to call them, these are on street legal tires. I mean, these things are more or less street legal. Okay, so as these tires wear, and they don't wear much, that's why I'm only at 85 after 10 laps of just full sending it lap after lap. The reason the tires don't wear excessively bad is because, or the reason you don't see it in lap times excessively bad is because the fuel load goes down, giving you more grip, the track rubber's in, giving you more grip, and it kind of balances out with the tires going out, and you are slowly losing tread, which means more rubber is making contact with the road as well. Now sure, it's because the tires going bald rather than becoming slick, which there is a difference. If you guys care about it, you can look into it on Google. I looked into it, and it's just the way the tire works on race tires and on street tires. However, that's besides the point. As we're coming into the front stretch chicane on the final lap for the checkered flag to take the win, rather easy win, minus the whole incident with the one car. But if you look into it, yeah, the way that the tires work, I mean, these tires are designed to go 50,000 miles, hypothetically, if you drive them sensibly, you know, and mostly on interstates at like 70 miles an hour, right? So nothing absurd. So when you're driving them like this, 85%, I mean, hang on, let me do the quick math real quick. It's gonna kill the recording, or it's gonna lag out the computer. Let's see. Okay, so if we have 50, oh, come on. So if we have 50,000 miles, what would be, oh no, not 5,000%, oh boy, 85% times 50, 1, 2, 3,000. Okay. We used 42,500 miles of tire in what I imagine was probably not 42,500 miles of racing. So, yeah, it's quite significant. You can see people jump in the front stretch chicane. That's so much fun. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy, because that'll be it for today. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. I will leave you guys to watch this last lap one more time. Until then, see you guys later. Bye.